Benjamin Netanyahu disappeared, not in the dramatic sense. Not captured, not confirmed dead, not evacuated to an undisclosed location, at least not publicly. What happened was simpler and in many ways more unsettling. In the hours following Iran's large-scale missile strikes on Tel Aviv, the Israeli Prime Minister went silent. His social media accounts, normally active, normally aggressive, normally among the most prolific of any head of state, stopped posting. No video address, no defiant statement from a podium, no image of Netanyahu in a command center projecting strength and resolve in the face of Iranian retaliation. Just silence. And into that silence, the internet poured everything it does best: speculation, rumor, theory, accusation. Within hours, claims were circulating across every social media platform in every language that Netanyahu had been killed in the strikes, that he had been critically injured, that he had been evacuated, that the Israeli government was concealing a decapitation event, the loss of the head of state during an active military conflict. Then a video appeared. It showed Netanyahu seated, appearing relaxed, holding a cup of coffee, smiling. The message was unmistakable. I am here. I am alive. The reports of my death are, as the saying goes, greatly exaggerated. But the video did not end the speculation. It accelerated it, because people began noticing details. In an earlier video that had circulated, one that was quickly pulled from most platforms, Netanyahu's hand appeared visibly distorted, oversized relative to his body, and the hand appeared to show 6 fingers. 6 fingers, the signature artifact of AI-generated imagery. Artificial intelligence systems, even the most advanced ones, have a well-documented weakness. They struggle with human extremities. Hands and feet remain the most difficult elements of human anatomy for generative AI to render convincingly. The geometry is complex. The variation between individuals is enormous. And the result, when the system fails, is immediately recognizable to anyone who knows what to look for. Extra fingers, fused digits, hands that are too large or too small relative to the body, proportions that sit in the uncanny valley between human and something that is not quite human. That 6-fingered image set off a firestorm of analysis. Was the video real? Was it AI generated? Was the Israeli government, or more specifically, was Mossad, using fabricated video to simulate the continued public presence of a leader who was in fact incapacitated or worse? Then the second video appeared, the one with the coffee. And this video introduced its own anomalies. Netanyahu is visibly animated in the footage. He is gesturing broadly, moving his hands, raising his arms. The body language is emphatic, almost exaggerated, as though specifically designed to communicate vitality and energy. And he is pointedly displaying his hands, 5 fingers on each. Look, count them. I am real. But the coffee does not move. Netanyahu is holding a cup throughout the video. He is waving his arms, shifting his posture, gesturing with the kind of energy that would cause any liquid in an open container to slosh, to shift, to at the very minimum ripple against the sides of the cup. The coffee remains perfectly still, perfectly level, as though it is not a liquid being held by a moving human being, but a texture painted onto a static object in a digital rendering. That detail, the motionless coffee in the hand of a gesticulating man, became the second focal point of scrutiny. And it raised a question that would have sounded absurd in any previous conflict, but sounds entirely reasonable in this one. Is the Prime Minister of Israel being digitally generated for public consumption during an active war? Now let us step back from the specifics and address what this moment actually represents. Because whether that video is real or fabricated, and we should be honest that definitive verification is extraordinarily difficult in the current environment, the fact that the question is being asked at all tells us something profound about the nature of conflict in this era. We are living in what can only be described as the simulation age of warfare. And in this age, what you are shown matters as much as what actually happens, sometimes more. There is a strong possibility, and this analysis is informed by sources with direct knowledge of Israeli intelligence methodology, that what we are witnessing is not an AI failure, but a deliberate Mossad operation. The playbook is not new. It is a documented tactic in the Israeli intelligence repertoire. You allow rumors of a leader's death to circulate. You let the speculation build. You let your adversaries commit to the narrative, and then you produce the leader, alive, smiling, dismissive, in a manner specifically designed to humiliate the intelligence capabilities of the other side. The message is not simply that the leader survived. The message is that your intelligence is wrong, your sources are compromised, your analytical capability is inadequate. You believed what we wanted you to believe. The earlier video, the one with the 6 fingers, the one that was quickly removed, may not have been a mistake. It may have been bait, released deliberately with an obvious flaw, designed to trigger exactly the kind of AI detection analysis that followed, designed to get millions of people scrutinizing fingers and coffee cups and pixel artifacts, so that when the real Netanyahu appeared, the contrast between the paranoid speculation and the mundane reality would make the speculators look foolish and the Israeli intelligence apparatus look untouchable. If that is what happened, it worked. But it worked in a way that damages something larger than any single intelligence operation. Because here is the cost of this kind of information warfare. It does not only deceive the enemy, it poisons the entire information environment for everyone. When a government, any government, demonstrates the willingness and the capability to manufacture the public appearance of its own head of state, it does not just create doubt about one video. It creates doubt about every video, every statement, every press conference, every image released by any official source in any conflict. And that is the world we are now operating in. This conflict has already produced multiple episodes of this kind of informational vertigo. Ismail Haniyeh was reported dead, then alive, then critically injured with disfiguring wounds that would prevent him from appearing publicly. Then the narrative shifted again. Similar cycles played out around other figures. Claims circulated, originating from social media accounts with known affiliations to Israeli intelligence, that Ismail Qani, the commander of Iran's Quds force, was an Israeli agent, that he had defected, that he was living under protection in Israel. These claims were not fringe conspiracy theories circulated by anonymous accounts. They were picked up by Western media outlets that are considered reliable. They were discussed on mainstream platforms. They entered the analytical conversation as though they were credible intelligence rather than what they more likely were: deliberate informational sabotage designed to create confusion, erode trust in Iranian command structures, and generate internal suspicion within Tehran's military and intelligence apparatus. The result is an environment in which professional journalists, intelligence analysts, and informed observers find themselves unable to verify even the most basic facts about the conflict they are covering. Is this leader alive? Is that commander in place? Did this event happen? Was that footage real? These are not philosophical questions. These are operational questions that affect how governments respond, how publics react, and how the trajectory of an active military conflict unfolds. And it is not only state actors contributing to this collapse of verifiable reality. Social media has become, during this conflict, something that can only be described as an informational landfill. Every platform is flooded with claims, counterclaims, fabricated footage, repurposed footage from previous conflicts presented as current, and AI-generated content of increasing sophistication. The volume is so large and the speed is so fast that verification, the basic journalistic function of confirming whether something actually happened, has become a full-time occupation that still cannot keep pace with the flow of fabrication. The irony is severe. We live in an age of more information than any previous generation could have imagined, and we know less about what is actually happening than at almost any point in the modern history of conflict reporting. The broader lesson of everything we have discussed tonight, the fabricated videos, the AI artifacts, the intelligence operations disguised as leaks, the social media landfill, the mainstream media organizations that have been reduced to the same level of unreliability as anonymous accounts, the heads of state who make contradictory statements within hours of each other. The broader lesson is this: the information dimension of modern conflict has become a theater of operations in its own right. It is not a sideshow. It is not a footnote. It is a domain in which victories and defeats are achieved, in which strategic objectives are advanced or undermined, and in which the perceptions of publics, governments, and militaries are shaped in ways that directly affect the physical battlefield. And in that domain right now, nobody is winning. Because the weapon being used most effectively is not any particular piece of propaganda or any specific fabrication. The weapon is doubt itself, the erosion of the ability to know, the destruction of the shared factual foundation that any coherent response, military, diplomatic, or humanitarian, requires. When you cannot trust what you see, you cannot act with confidence. And when no one can act with confidence, the advantage goes to whoever is most comfortable operating in chaos. That is the war beneath the war, and it is far from over. Stay with us.